Hello and welcome. It is I, Iron Raiden, back yet again on this very Merry Christmas Eve, and I figured I would go ahead and talk about Die Hard. Now, I actually did do a video previous to this, basically just talking about the franchise as a whole, but I figured it was a good idea to just go ahead and discuss the original in and of itself and whether or not it is truly a Christmas movie. Now, I'm just going to try to keep this as simple as possible and give my explanation as to why I believe it's one or the other. I'm not going to try to just definitively tell you what is and what isn't. All right? Because I feel like the debate itself has kind of gotten annoying from either side at this point. But I'm going to break it down to you, at least from my perspective, and tell you why I believe yes and no that it is actually a Christmas movie. The reason being is that I actually put out a tweet. It was probably last year, maybe before that, but I did go into this before saying why I believe it is seen as a Christmas movie. And that reason being is because, well, if you look at the film in and of itself, it's like, yeah, it's just an action film where you can watch like pretty much any time of the year, this and that. And there are other films such as even Lethal Weapon the year before that had a Christmas element even before Die Hard even came onto the picture, but no one ever really talks about that. You also have other movies later on down the line, like in Iron Man 3 that takes place around Christmas and, does its thing, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like the difference, honestly, between those two and Die Hard in and of itself is because the Christmas element simply is not heavily in your face the entire film. It doesn't really play that much of a factor as far as humor, dialogue, music cues, a lot of that stuff. Now, Lethal Weapon does open up with jingle bells and stuff like that. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot of heavy, Christmas referencing in it. With Die Hard, I mean, let's be real here. If not for the Christmas element, a lot of the charm of Die Hard would be missing. Is because from the very beginning of the film, just even references like don't you got any Christmas music? This is Christmas music. You'll hear it all throughout the film. You'll hear people constantly referring to it, like even later on in the film where Hans is like, it's Christmas, Theo, it's the time of miracles. You'll hear like little music cues all throughout the film, blah blah blah. And there's in like the sweatshirt, now I have a machine gun, ho ho ho, things like that. And that's why I feel like it is actually seen as a Christmas movie. Now, does it actually make it a Christmas movie? Yeah, we look at your average Christmas movie as, the family-friendly comedy where by the end, everyone's all holly jolly. The family's back together. Loved ones are back together. This and that. Santa Claus is off saving the world, giving the kids his presents, whatever the film is. And yeah, is it a Christmas movie like that? No, but it breaks a certain mold as to where it can kind of put itself in the realm of what you would consider a traditional holiday film. And that is because, like I said, it takes place at Christmas and it just has such a heavy Christmas vibe all throughout it, to where if you remove certain moments like the sweater and certain lines of dialogue here and there, even like the Christmas miracle when Hans opens the vault, you have the music playing, and even by the end, oh, the weather outside is frightful. You have all the paper falling down, it's like snow. It takes away a lot of what makes Die Hard, if you ask me, because the sequel, like Die Hard 2, yeah, that also took place at Christmas. Would I consider that one a Christmas movie any more than the first one? Definitely not. You know why? It's because, yes, it takes place at Christmas, but the Christmas element, they don't really play into that as a part of the humor, a lot of dialogue and moments, near as much as the first movie. And of course, that movie in and of itself is just kind of like a rinse and repeat of the first movie, except where the elements are a little bit more hollow. It's a good solid action film, but doesn't quite have like that heart of what the first one was in various ways, and that being one of them, to where it's like, well, it doesn't have as much as like that Christmas vibe, you know what I mean? And so therefore, like I said, the original, if you take out the Christmas element, you lose part of the identity of what makes Die Hard Die Hard. Because, like I said, you look at the film, you imagine just taking all those lines out of a place where it's just like a normal time of the year, you change it up a bit. Would it quite be the same? Not really. It really wouldn't. So, definitively or not, whether it's a Christmas movie or not, yes and no. It's not, yeah, your traditional Christmas movie, what, is seen as such, is what's seen as like the genre or whatever. But of course, fans like us, geeks like us, we love our action stuff and we love the thing that makes everything different. It's the different kid on the block when it comes to this sort of thing. It's the R-rated action film that takes place at Christmas. You just have fun with it, blah, blah, blah. So we like to make it a Christmas movie. And so that's why I also feel like a lot of that comes from. And so for me, it's like, yeah, when it's Christmas time, it just is one of those movies that you could throw on and just makes it feel even that much more of a vibe. It's just a Christmas movie, but very much its own thing. It just takes the idea of what your typical Christmas movie is, where it's a film that takes place at that time and has fun with the idea of it. And like I said, since a lot of the Christmas referencing, like I said, the decorations, lines, some of the themes even of the movie, like just Hans opening the vault, the Christmas miracles and all this and that, and just it plays a lot into it. It's woven within the DNA of Die Hard. So therefore, in a certain sense, it is like a Christmas movie to where you put it on at that time, you're just having a good old time with it, and it feels like a very action-packed, exciting Christmas event. Very much so, to where, like I said, the second one doesn't play that much into other films like Lethal Weapon or an Iron Man 3. They don't really play into that element to where you take the Christmas element out, you're not really noticing anything different. You take the Christmas element out of Die Hard, therefore you kind of lose part of the charm of what makes that movie the movie that it is. So, is it a Christmas movie? Yes, and sort of no. But I'm more in the camp to where I'm like, if you see it as a Christmas movie, then yeah, it kind of makes sense. I'm not also going to sit there and say that, oh yeah, it's just not a Christmas movie because it's not this and that. Be like, well, yeah, no shit, it's not. But there is a certain element, and that being the Christmas element that's woven within the film itself, to where Christmas very much plays a big part of what makes that movie the movie that it is. And so therefore, in a certain sense, is it a Christmas movie? Yes. In various other elements, no. So therefore, that's that. That's just my take on it. I figured it'd be a fun way to kind of give my idea and my perspective as to why it's perceived that way and what I actually think about it. So you do you. Die Hard a Christmas movie, yes or no? Hey, just go ahead and watch it anyway. It's a damn good movie. It takes place at Christmas. It has fun with Christmas. Why the hell not, right? Anyway, that'll do it for this video, and that was my perspective on Die Hard and being a Christmas movie. You all enjoy the holidays yourself, if you're bothering to watch this at this time. Anyway, I am Iron Raven, and I am out.